Any problem children?
Quangle.
Anybody you want me to come and yell at? I can yell at Quangle.
1 second. He went from like pumping shootouts with the Saints to pumping shootouts with J Hobbs. Who's this criminal that he says he hates, but also goes out of his way to antagonize all the time.
Ooh, star-crossed lovers.
Yeah. Quangle does not like me at all.
Yeah, you guys are like diametrically opposed forces.
Yeah, pretty naturally.
Yeah.
He's mad at me right now because of that whole shooting a guy who aimed a gun at him thing, even though I was not the one who shot first, but somehow I'm Hop Out Helen. Even though Houston shot first, and Hop Out Houston has just as nice of a ring to it.
Yeah, Hop Out Helen's way more gangster.
Thanks. I just decided I'd tank it.
Or not, it's not syllables, because I think it's the same syllables. It's something about the cadence when you say Houston.
Yeah, something.
Houston. Oh, it's 3.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's why. It's because it's 3 and Helen's 2.
Quangle calls for 77s because J Hobbs has a class 2. Houston and I attach. He immediately after we attach, J Hobbs gets out of the driver's seat. Car occupied 2 times. Karuma, gray. J Hobbs gets out of the passenger seat, makes sure his class 2 is, you know, in his hands. Gets back in.
Fucking off out the front door.
He's warned. He's already been warned by Quangle to put the gun away before we got there. He's warned when he does that, like, put the fucking gun away. But he gets into the car with his class 2 still out, takes off, crashes under Olympic. His passenger points a deagle out of the window at Quangle. Houston yells, you know, he's got a fucking gun or something, gets out of the car and shoots them because they're aiming a gun at the cops. And then there's gunfire in the area from like presumably an unrelated thing, but it's like at the ammunition. We're on Elgin under Olympic, so like, 15 feet away. Right. So Houston and I don't immediately start triage because there's literally still active gunfire in the area. There's 78s for that active gunfire. So we get in the car, we reposition, so we don't get shot down the middle of the street. And then Quangle comes over radio while there's still suspects at large on the van and is like, who was in the V-Star? It was us. Come back to Olympic. We come back. There's still a suspect at large from the van thing. And Quangle starts yelling at us about illegally shooting people in front of downed 95s and yelling at us for not doing triage and apparently still had not started first aid while he's yelling at us for not doing first aid. And I just didn't engage because I don't know if you know this, but Quangle's impossible to talk to. So I just kind of let him yap. Eventually, he's also called a marshal to the scene at this point. Eventually, he's like, we shouldn't talk about this here. I'm like, yeah, no fucking shit. And then he talks about it again when we get to actual triage. And then J Hobbs feels super incensed and feels like he's in the right because Quangle has now, yelled at people about it. Even though he's not right. And then J Hobbs tells me he calls me Hop Out Helen and says he's going to push for the death penalty against me in the cells.
What the fuck?
Negative, I believe it's just a local.
And then I sat in the BCSO for 2 hours while High Command sat in a circle and talked about it to wait to find out if I was going to get in trouble. And Quangle still thinks that I should not have shot them. Again, I was not the person who fired first, but Houston made the call to open fire. We both saw the deagle. He made the call to open fire. He pointed a gun at cops, so I backed him up. I shot too. And now the narrative is that I mag dump GSR negative people. And she was GSR negative because we shot him before he could shoot Quangle.
That's just crazy.
I'm inclined to agree with you. And then I think Quangle's mad because I think he got in trouble for, yelling at us in front of 95s. For like literally trying to keep someone from shooting him. Quangle already didn't like me because of a situation in which he told me to 10-3 because I told him to stop yelling at cadets. And then I got him in trouble for that and I dapped him and then got promoted to sergeant. And then he was pretty mad about that. He yelled at me a lot about that. And he called me a liar. Then he called me a liar again and this whole thing. And then yesterday or the day before, Snoopy got promoted to senior and Quangle was standing right by me. And he was like, finally someone who actually deserves a promotion. And then he got pulled into an office with Cassidy. And I think he got in trouble, but he still works here. And he's been given like 4 different, this is your last chance opportunities. And still thinks that he's being targeted. despite the fact that he's been told like 4 different times, if you do one more thing, you're getting fired, and he still isn't fired. He's our Carmine and Bobby, basically.
Hey, you know, I'm proud of you.
Are you?
Yeah, actually.
I'm still the problematic one.
No, you just totally cut off my only like thing I was going to tell you.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's a good thing. That's why I'm proud of you.
What did I cut off?
Well, if you have the emotional maturity to understand and recognize what it means to say he's our Carmine and Bobby, then it says to me that while you may get embroiled in the day-to-day and even week-to-week and maybe even month-to-month cycle of drama relating to dealing with those people, you are at least at your core aware of what it means to be a Bobby or a Carmine, and thus you know, will be able to hopefully absorb the, you know, emotional terrorism inflicted upon you by your very own Bobby / Carmine / Quangle.
Oh yeah, no, I also get
and,
targeted
you know,
by Bobby and Carmine. So I'm
Yeah, of
just kind of
course.
used to being the op at this point to those people.
Yeah, you're a natural enemy.
Yeah. Oh, they hate me so bad.
Yeah,
They
but the
hate me
good
so
news
bad.
is that although they might not have the emotional maturity to know it, they need you as much as you need them. Because let's be honest, if there weren't Bobby and Carmines and Quangles, then being command would be pretty boring. If everyone was an adult that just managed themselves responsibly, management would be kind of like a useless task. So just think of it that way. You got job security.
So true.
He
So
might never
true.
get fired, but that means also there will always be a need for you to be that op.
That's true.
It's like you guys are like,
I'm a natural op.
you're like star-crossed haters.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound right.
Kind of though.
There's a word for that.
Like instead of soulmate, soul hate.
Nemesis.
Yeah. Arch nemesis.
Yeah, that thing.
Yeah. Quangle did
I
not
don't know
fuck
the
with
plural
me.
of nemesis. Nemesis.
Maybe. I'd believe it if you
I don't
said
know.
it. But yeah, that's the drama. Princess Elena really wants Quangle fired though, like really bad.
Yeah.
Also, J Hobbs is taking me to court for a separate time. I told people to shoot him.
Cool.
Yeah. Well, he punched Quangle in the head with knuckle dusters on a foot pursuit.
Oh, I was there for that.
I said, shoot that guy.
Yeah, I was there for that.
And so Quangle shot him.
I sat in the parking garage the entire court
Oh,
case
yeah,
waiting to
yeah.
strike them when they left.
Yeah, and then the bench trial where they were like, yeah, that's Tennessee v. Garner, like quite literally by definition, so you're Gucci. Yeah, they're trying to push it on the docket now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, what do you mean docket?
Like they're trying to sue me for excessive force, even though a judge literally already ruled that it was not excessive force in the bench trial, because that was their argument at the bench trial.